You were told the same thing everyone else was told. Work hard. Show up early. Stay late. Give everything you have. And one day it will pay off. So you did it. You worked harder than the people around you. You took on extra shifts. You skipped vacations. You said yes when everyone else said no. And you are still not rich. Not even close. And the worst part is nobody will tell you why. So we will. The reason working harder will never make you rich is not because you are doing something wrong. It is because you are playing a game that was never designed for you to win. Here is the trap nobody explains. Every single working person on earth sells the same thing. Time. You wake up, you trade your hours for money, and you go home. And this feels normal because everyone around you does the same thing. But there is a mathematical problem with this model that nobody talks about. Time is finite. You have 24 hours in a day. You sleep for roughly 8. You have 16 left. Even if you worked every single one of those remaining hours, there is a ceiling. A hard limit on how much you can ever earn by selling your time. Let's run the numbers. Say you earn $30 an hour. You work 40 hours a week. That is $1,200 a week. $4,800 a month, $57,600 a year. Now you decide to work harder. You pick up overtime. You work 60 hours a week. Now you earn $1,800 a week, $7,200 a month, $86,400 a year. That feels like progress, and it is. But here is what nobody tells you about that number. You just traded 20 extra hours of your life every single week for an extra $28,800 a year. That is every evening, every weekend morning, every moment you could have spent with your family, your health, your sanity, gone, in exchange for $28,800. And no matter how hard you work, you cannot add more hours to the day. You cannot work 200 hours a week. Your body will not allow it, which means your income has a ceiling, and that ceiling is low. Now let's look at what wealthy people do differently. They figured out something early that most people never learn. The goal is not to work harder. The goal is to build something that works when you are not working. Think about it this way. A landlord owns 10 rental properties. Each property earns $1,500 a month in rent. That is $15,000 a month, $180,000 a year. Is the landlord working 60 hours a week to earn that? No. The properties work. The tenants pay. The money arrives. The landlord could be asleep, on vacation, or doing absolutely nothing. The income does not care. This is called passive income, and it is the only income that has no ceiling. Now here is where most people stop and say, that sounds great, but I do not have money to buy rental properties. And that is fair. So let's talk about how this actually starts. Because nobody begins with 10 rental properties. Nobody begins with a business empire. Everyone begins with time. The question is what you do with it. Here is what the hard worker does. They spend their time earning money. Then they spend that money on things that lose value. A car that depreciates. Subscriptions. Take away food. And next month they start again from zero. Here is what the wealth builder does. They spend their time earning money. Then they take a portion of that money, even a small portion, and they buy something that produces more money. A share in a business. A piece of real estate. A stake in an index fund. Something that works while they sleep. The difference is not income. The difference is what happens to the money after it arrives. Let's run this comparison over 20 years. Person A earns $60,000 a year. They work hard. They get small raises. After 20 years of hard work, they have earned roughly $1.4 million in total income. They spend most of it on living expenses, a car, a mortgage. At the end of 20 years, their net worth is around $80,000, mostly tied up in a house they still owe money on. Person B earns the same $60,000 a year, but every month, Person B takes $500 and puts it into a simple S&P 500 index fund. They do not touch it. They do not think about it. After 20 years, at a historical average return of 10% per year, that $500 a month has grown to roughly $380,000. Same salary, same starting point. One person has $80,000. The other has $380,000, and Person B did not work a single extra hour to get there. The money worked, not the person. Now let's go further, because here is what happens when you start to understand this at a deeper level. The truly wealthy do not just invest money. They build or buy systems that generate income automatically, and then they use that income to buy more systems. This is called compounding, and it is the most powerful financial force on earth. Albert Einstein reportedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. Whether he said it or not, the math proves it. Here is how compounding actually works in practice. You invest $10,000. It grows at 10% per year. After year 1 you have $11,000. But in year 2, you earn 10% on $11,000, not on $10,000. So now you have $12,100. In year 3 you earn 10% on $12,100. You have $13,310. You are not adding more money. You are not working harder. The number is growing because the growth itself is growing. After 10 years your $10,000 is worth $25,937. After 20 years it is worth $67,275. After 30 years it is worth $174,494. You invested $10,000 once. You did nothing else. And 30 years later you have $174,494. That is the machine working without you. Now here is the part that makes this even more frustrating when you see it clearly. While you are working harder, trading your hours for dollars, the wealthy are doing the opposite. They are working less and earning more, because they own systems instead of selling time. A business owner who builds a company and hires people to run it does not trade hours for money. The business runs. The employees work. The owner collects the profit. An investor who owns shares in 500 companies through an index fund does not work for those companies. Those 500 companies work. The investor collects a percentage of everything they produce. A property owner with a management company handling their buildings does not fix toilets or chase rent. The properties earn. The manager handles the problems. The owner receives the income. None of these people are lazy. They worked extremely hard to build or acquire those systems. But once the system existed, the hard work became optional. And that is the fundamental difference between the wealthy and everyone else. The wealthy work hard once to build something that pays them forever. Everyone else works hard forever and gets paid only while they are working. So what do you do with this information? The answer is not to stop working hard. Hard work is not the enemy. Misdirected hard work is the enemy. Here is the shift. Stop spending 100% of your time earning money for someone else. Start spending a small percentage of your time building something for yourself. It does not have to be dramatic. It does not have to be a business empire. It could be $200 a month into an index fund. It could be one rental property purchased over the next 5 years. It could be a small online income stream that earns $300 a month while you sleep. Small systems, consistently built, over a long time. That is how ordinary people escape the time trap. Because here is the truth nobody in school ever told you. Your employer is already doing this. They take your time. They pay you a portion of what your time produces. They keep the rest. That remainder builds their wealth. Your labor is already powering a wealth-building machine. It is just not your machine. The moment you start building your own machine, however small, everything changes. Because now time is working for you instead of against you. Every month that passes, your investments grow. Every year that passes, your systems produce more income. Every decade that passes, the gap between you and where you started becomes enormous. The hard worker who never builds a system runs out of time. Their body gets older. Their energy decreases. And one day they cannot trade hours for dollars anymore. And that is called retirement poverty. The system builder never runs out of income because the system does not age. The system does not get tired. The system just keeps producing. Hard work got you here, but hard work alone will not get you there. The wealthy do not work harder than you. They built something that works harder than them. And the day you understand that difference is the day everything changes. If you want to learn exactly how to build your first income system from scratch, subscribe. The next video might be the most important one you ever watch.